A couple of highlights from matches that went down in the French League One over the weekend. Now let's get down to the nitty-gritty. Like I told you earlier on, I have the chairman of FCTA Football Association with me in the studio, and also the NFF presidential aspirant right there talking about Adams Mouktar. Mohammed, it's a pleasure to have you this morning.
Thank you very much, Tolu. I'm very happy and delighted to be on your show today.
Okay, let's hit the ground running. There's no time to delay that because a lot of things are there to really address. But let's start from the Federal Capital Territory. I know when you came aboard, you talked about your plans to turn around the fortune of Nigeria, of football in the Federal Capital Territory. So far, would you say you've been able to achieve some of the objectives you set for yourself?
Well, going by the promises, I think we've overachieved even. Okay. We made promises. I made 3 promises, but I think the most important thing is we needed to revive the image and the perception of football, the #1 sport in Nigeria, in the FCT. And how do you do that? It's about facilities. We've done it. Go to the Area 3, it's a different place. Go to the Area 10, it's functional. And then we did the new stadium in Buhari as well. It's a mini stadium. It's brand new. We're going to launch it next week. And then we're also working on the Kuje Stadium as a new project as well. Soon, hopefully in the next few months, something will begin. So all in all, in terms of facilities, we've overachieved. And then going by, we wanted to revive football. We've been running the league. The FA Cup has been running, the under-15. The female has been running. We're currently doing a 5-a-side, which we'll do a final this week. So a number of things have happened, and then we brought the likes of Bayern Munich and some international programs, and then we did the coaching clinics. NIS, we trained many coaches, full sponsorship, and it was drawn from all the area councils. We did referees, so we've done a lot. We've done a lot, I can say that for sure. Okay,
talking about when you look at some of the things you've been able to achieve within this period of time, because a lot of people will talk about fund, not being able to do everything due to lack of fund, but how do you manage to circumvent that challenge?
Like I always say, people talk about funds, but I say there's a direct relationship between getting sponsorship and funding with your performance, with your preparation, with your planning, and with your credibility. So when people see that you're doing the right things and you want to be accountable, then they will give you the right funds. Like how we ran the first league that we did, we didn't collect any kobo, any monies from any sponsor. What we did is we allocated things that we wanted the sponsors to do themselves, and then we work hand in hand. And after that, the next year, they felt comfortable and they were ready to even do more. So that way you increase your credibility and you show people that you're ready to do the right thing, not to collect money from them and then you can't account or show what you did with the monies. So once that credibility is there, once that image is restored, once you have a team that people can trust and communicate with, the money will come. People want to sponsor things they can see on TV or they can hear on radio or they will see in the media. And football is one of those things that attracts a lot of sponsorship. But without success, you don't get sponsorship. Like now, Nigeria not going to the World Cup. How do you get sponsors for the Super Eagles?
That's a big word right there. Talking about getting sponsors for the but we'll surely get into that in the course of the program. In the course of your drawing, you were able to bring Bayern Munich to Nigeria and a couple of other programs right there. What do you think that would have achieved for development of the game in the Federal Capital Territory?
Excellent question, Tolu. It's what Nigerians want, Tolu. They don't want talkers or rhetorics. They want doers. They want somebody who can show a track record. Like now, a lot of people keep talking, I will do. No, people are tired because they've tried so many people and they didn't do. So they want somebody that has a track record to show that what has he done. So, and I have that over the years. I've developed players for the Super Eagles, for the under-17, for the under-20. And the Bayern Munich program came and it was the first of its kind, being one of the biggest and best clubs in the world. And now as a result of that program, Francis Daniel, a boy from Zuba, Abuja, has now signed a professional contract, which is historic. Bayern Munich have never signed a player directly from Africa. This is the first time. And we made record. So now he has a 3-year professional contract. They're loaning him to an Austrian top division club. And he'll go, and if he gets the opportunity, you're going to see him playing for Bayern Munich maybe in the next 1 or 2 years. So that is historic, and that has given hope. And that's what we want to continue doing. I understand sports as a business. And that's what the federal government has been wanting to do. By the Honorable Minister, Honorable Sunday Dare, has done a great job by making sports as a business, to be treated as a business, not as a recreation. And then with the 10-year master plan, it shows that federal government is ready to support whoever has that drive and that credibility to move sports forward.
Drive and credibility to move sports forward. And that brings us, you once owned a football club, and you still have a football club, but initially you have a club that was participating in the league. When you look at the environment that you had at that point in time, that made you to be tired of having a club, instead of you just continue to run the club as academy, not participating in the league. How do you think we can correct that to make it environment conducive for club owners to be ready to participate in it? Because it's one of the major problems, because you hear a lot of people complaining about not having a conducive environment for club to thrive. What are the things you notice that you think, maybe when you have the opportunity, you can be able to correct?
Look, Tolu, we must tell ourselves the honest truth. We're all part of the problem. All of us, all the stakeholders in football have led to where we are now. And we ask ourselves, where are we? Where are we on the African ranking? Where are we on the world ranking? Where are we on the league ranking in Africa and even in the world? We have rankings. So we must measure ourselves, how well we're doing. So it's a combination. Everybody has kept quiet and football has dwindled and gotten to where we are. And to be honest with you, Tolu, if we don't get it right this time now, we will not be able to see good football again. Because it's like a patient with a cancer. Let me give you an example.
Yeah.
You must take him, operate on him, and remove that cancer, and then give him chemotherapy, rehabilitate him, and then before he comes back. So for us, if we really want to do it, the stakeholders need to really look deep down and tell themselves the truth, that we must choose the best people to run our football, to change the direction, and let's get a fresh start to everything. You talk about the league. Yeah. It's been dwindling over the years. Let's be honest. A lot of things have happened, and I personally don't like to look back, but I'm looking to the future. Who can now come in and give a fresh direction? That's what I think. So I have been a revolutionary in terms of the academy side of things. I have been one of the first people who has shown that you can translate academy players to the Super Eagles and even to Europe directly. And I've done it many times. Many players, we have transformed them without them playing in the league. And that has given the academies a boost, a source of income. Now each academy understands that you can make money, you can invest, and you can develop. And that's also a big ecosystem that feeds the league. But we give league prominence and importance ahead of the academies. But no, all over the world, the academies are number one. That's the grassroots. So I'm a grassroots person, and I have led the way in giving grassroots hope over the years. In the last 20 years, that's what I've done. And we have broken that jinx to take players from zero to hero directly to Europe. And now you can see, Tolu, all the top players in the Super Eagles are from academies.
Well, impressive, because you just hit a very salient point right there. Because we've seen instances where players from the academy, just like you said, walk straight to the main team and they didn't go through the process. It shows that there's something we are missing. And at times, you have players who stay around for a long time, couldn't get to play in Nigeria Professional Football League, probably because they don't know somebody and they couldn't get to play in the. And that brings us a major issue. For quite some time, you've not really been involved with the activity of the Nigeria Football Federation Congress. And a lot of people never thought, is Mouktar not interested in Nigerian football? Because you know you're doing so much at the federal capital level. Even before, when you're kind of before with your team, contributing so much to the development of the game. But when it comes to the NFF Congress and so many things, people dragging all over them say, you never seems to be involved until recently. Why did it take you so long before getting involved in NFF Congress?
Well, the Congress is a thing that happens maybe once in 6 months or a meeting. So also, I have been involved behind the scenes, but since I came to the FCT, I deliberately decided that I want to boost the capacity of my board members and my two vices. Okay. So I've always believed in delegating, Tolu. Even if I don't participate, my vice will always represent the FCT, because look, it's not a personal thing. Yeah. It's not about me. It's about the FCT. So the FCT have elected us to do a job. So my main job is not to be traveling with the Congress. Yeah. My main job is the FCT, and I've delivered on that, and everybody can testify. So that makes my job easy. I can come out and say we as a board have succeeded, and we have promised all the things, and we've delivered. So that's my primary assignment. then the Congress is a secondary assignment. And my vice chairman has always been there to represent me with my board members in events as such. So, but in any important event that I feel that my presence is needed, I have now attended, and decisions have been taken with me. But importantly, FCT is my primary assignment, so I've decided to focus on my assignment and to deliver on my assignment. And then if the constituents and stakeholders in Nigeria feel that I have what it takes to vote me into the NFF, then I'll concentrate on my primary assignment, which is the NFF.
Yeah, and that brings us to the main issue right now. So many people have always been seeing you as their D candidate to take Nigerian football to the next level, because they've been talking about one major ingredient is passion for the game. Not being tired of watching Nigerian football, not being tired of watching grassroots football, going to watch matches. You've been able to pick talent, just like you said, pick talent from the raw down to the playing for the topmost level. It takes passion to be able to do that. And that has been missing Nigerian football for quite some time. A lot of people have beckoned on you to come out. You didn't make that step. But this time around, you decided to take. What were the factors that led you to taking this bold decision?
Good question, Tolu. So I've realized that I'm passionate. I love football. I've been there 20 years or more. Yeah. I've paid my dues. Yeah. And I understand every step of football. I'm not just an administrator. I understand the business side, and I've touched the lives of people. And I am popular around the country for what I've done. Yeah. So, and I realized that all the stakeholders have been pushing, asking, praying that I should come out. But it is something that you need to consult widely. You need to look at the terrain. You need to understand the process and ensure that the process is going to be free and fair. So after a number of consultations and deep soul searching, I had decided that my conscience would not let me. With the current state of things, I have to decide to present myself. If not for anything, this is not a personal ambition. Yeah. But I think it's a sacrifice for us to come and salvage Nigerian football. And to ensure, because I feel like I'm the future of football. I understand how global football, I'm internationally linked, and I can bring a different dimension to things. So I put myself to enrich the race, for it to be a proper race where we're talking about issues, and so that tomorrow, even if it is not my time to do it now, nobody will come out and say the opportunity came, you did not run, it was an opportunity, you had the chance. So I've presented myself to see if truly the stakeholders are ready to change Nigerian football. Whatever decision we take, I will remain in football, I'll continue to give my contributions, and I'll continue to love the game. So like you said, passion is what drives me in this game, and nothing is going to take me out of it. And in any way, I'm going to continue to contribute my quota to Nigerian football.
And that brings me to one major question, and it has to do with the permutations. Because after you decide to throw your heart into the ring, a lot of people, a lot of major stakeholders have been talking that Mouktar has scattered the permutations. Because they didn't think, Mouktar is going to come out to comment. They said, the possibility of the candidate coming in. Some people say probably he should have come in as a first vice president or stuff like that. That it seems you have changed the dimension of everything. Do you agree with that?
I don't agree with that. I think we have all sorts of people from all walks of life wanted to contest. It's the biggest race ever in terms of number of candidates and interest, which is good. There's been agitation from ex-internationals and players that they want a bigger slice of running football in Nigeria. So people ask me, do I want the Congress to be expanded? I say, why not? If it's a genuine concern, it's a genuine agitation, let's sit around the table, talk about it, and come to an understanding. Because everybody is not happy with the way things are, and I think with us coming together and even enriching the race, it has provided different options. Because Tolu, once you don't have options, then you can't really make a good choice. But with options, tomorrow if you make a wrong choice, then you know that you did it and Nigerians will hold you accountable. I tell people that we're actually holding football in trust for 200 million people. Just because you're the chairman today, next 4 years you might not be the chairman, but Nigerians will still remember your face, your name, and how you voted for the future of Nigerian football. So I tell my colleagues in the Congress, you must realize that you're holding it in trust for Nigerians, for your constituents. So you must take the right decision at the right time. If not, Nigerians will hold us responsible. They will remember us as we did not perform, we failed. Because at the critical time that Nigerian football needed a new direction and we had options, why didn't we do the right thing?
Why didn't you do the right thing? And now this issue has to do with zoning. Some people are saying it should be zoned to the north. Some people are saying it should be zoned to the south. Or some people are saying there's nothing like zoning in Nigerian Football Federation. May the best candidate win. What's your take on this?
I don't believe in zoning. I don't believe in zoning because I don't see myself as a northerner or anything. I see myself as a Nigerian. My allegiance is to Nigeria. I love my country. I want my country to be as united as possible. I have schooled in different parts of the country. I went to a Catholic school. I schooled in Lagos. I lived in Lagos. I'm from Kano, Jigawa. So now I'm in Abuja, and I've been elected in Abuja. So, you know, even when I was contesting for the FCT, people say I'm not an indigene, but I think I have outperformed the indigenes that were there before me in every sense. So I don't believe in that. Sports is a game. It's a game that unifies us, that brings us together. So in my dealings from childhood to now, I've never discriminated or seen anybody as different or outside of my tribe or religion or creed. I never consider that. So for me, I think whoever is talking about zoning or is just trying to use those as an excuse. But just come out with your issues, but not only promises, but what have you done? If you're coming from your state, what have you done in your state? Those are the critical questions that I'm saying the media should ask. Once you have performed and you've shown performance, then you should be considered an eligible candidate or a front runner.
That brings me, you talked about what you have done. I've seen some ex-internationals who have come out to say they want to vie for office. And at a particular point, I asked one of the ex-internationals, I said, in the last 5 years, what have you done for grassroots football? It's not necessarily at the national level. We all know that you play for the national team, which has qualified you to run for office. But in your own community, what have you done? Because we have instances where people have come and said, the ex-national should be allowed to run the football, just like Samuel Eto'o is doing in Cameroon. But we can attest to what Eto'o did while he was playing for the Cameroon national team. But some of these international, we cannot even really say, well, this is what they have done for football. We've had instances where people have made money from football and taken that money into real estate, into other means, not even investing in football that brought them fame and fortune. Should the fact that they are ex-international should be the reason why they should come into the Nigeria Football Federation, or because of what they have done for the growth of the game?
No, I disagree. I have said that clearly in several places. I was asked questions about, do I think ex-internationals? Of course, we should even find a system to repay them for their services to the country and to respect them, to honor them, and to not ever forget them. So I subscribe to that. But running football is a different ballgame. It should be open to anybody that first has the passion, has invested his time, his life, his resources, not only money, but like you said, tangible things that you can see. Who have you come back, even if it's to mentor people or to find a way to educate these players in your community, like you said. So you shouldn't foreclose it to say that just because you played football, then it gives you an automatic ticket to come and run football. No. Have you run football in a smaller micro level to come to even a state level and talk of a federation? Nigeria is a very complex country, is a big country. We're the giant of Africa. So you want somebody that has it complete, that understands everything, that understands the international side of things, that has that reputation, that credibility, that people believe in him and he has done it, for him to lead from the front. Look, Tolu, I've said it. The NFF is always in the front burner in the news. No. In other countries, if I was to ask you, do you know who the president of the English Football Federation is? You don't know.
Yeah.
So why should the NFF be in front? The NFF should just be a supporter to give that leadership, to ensure that remuneration, logistics, facilities, why don't we have a national training center? Why don't we have facilities to ensure that the national teams are properly taken care of? That's what the NFF's job is. And then if you look at other countries in the world, it is the coach and the national team, the players that are in the forefront, in the news. And that's how it should be.
We had instances. We had you hear announcement coming from incumbent NFL president. We have enough money to run the federation without federal government assistance. only for them to come back later that we didn't get money from federal government, we can't be able to participate in this, we can't be able to go for this. At this time and age, should that be the major problem of a brand as big as the Super Eagles that's under the purview of Nigeria Football Federation?
Good question, Tolu. When you look at things, you'd realize that people don't really understand how world football has changed. It is a huge business. If you look at countries, don't even compare us to countries like France, Germany, England. Take things like Brazil, countries like Brazil, and we can copy. We don't need to invent a new system. We can copy that model and implement it. So I think that, like I said, there's a direct correlation between success of the national team, male and female, with attraction of sponsors. Because, look, Tolu, sponsors want to give money, but they want value back. What are you giving them in value? They come to your office, they look at your office, they look at your staff, they look at how serious you are, and you need to make a presentation to them. Okay, if you give us 1 billion naira, we're going to give you XYZ return. All our billboards in our training centers, in the stadium, where we have 100,000 fans coming for 6 games. We're going to promote you. We're going to do side shows with players for advert. So this is the value that we're going to give back to you as a company. And it will be on TV, it will be on social media, on our Twitter page. As the National Federation or the Super Eagles, we have 50 million followers. So 50 million followers are going to see your advert. That's what companies want. There's no long story to it. So if you can't give them that or ensure that you can present that to them and they trust you, they won't give you their money. Or even if they give you and you don't come and say, okay, we have done this and this is the value that we feel you've gotten, then they don't feel the need to increase that sponsorship value or even continue with you. And once you go to qualifiers, you don't win, or Ghana come home and win us, then people are not encouraged because they don't want their brand to be associated with failure or with lack of success. So it's a combination of so many things, but we can set targets for ourselves that are realistic and we try to achieve them. So I feel that the success of the national team, the way we present ourselves, in fact, Tolu, I think we need a new PR team to re-launder our image first. That this is a fresh new direction, this is a fresh new path that we want to try. I'm not saying the ones in the past have totally failed. I'm not criticizing anybody, but I think that once things are tried or have gone to a certain stage, you can try another style or another model to succeed. So now we have the opportunity to do that, and I think if Nigerians are looking, they're looking at all of us. Even the media, Nigerians are looking at the media. Are you asking the right questions? Are you promoting the right candidates? Do you really want things to change? Because the media is the watchdog. So the media needs to set the tone about real change that we look for in Nigerian football. Okay, I know time. If you know, when it comes to talking to Mouktar, you know, it's a delight to listen to. We're just going to give you opportunity to also send you 1 or 2 questions. The phone line will be right there on the screen for you to call in and have your contribution right there. Where I still have the chairman of FCT Football Association with me, talking about Agda Mouktar, and also is vying for the post of the Nigeria Football Federation president. He has just been cleared by the NFF Electoral Committee right there. So you have the opportunity of being part of this program and send in your comment and tell us what you think about it. You have the number on the screen right now to be part of the discussion, and let's have your take concerning that right there. And now moving on, you talked about sources. We had instances where a Nigerian national team has not been able to win any major laurel in the last 8 years. Even for the first time in a long while, we failed to qualify for the Nations Cup. Let me just take this call before we go further. Hello, good morning. Your name or where you calling from? You need to lower the volume of your TV set. Are you still with me? Sorry, you just have to call that right there. Please do call back. But when you're calling, you need to lower the volume of your TV set so that we will not be able to, we will not be hearing ourselves while we're trying to receive your call. You still have the number on the screen to be part of this discussion. I have the chairman of FCT Football Association with me, and also the NFL presidential aspirant right there. Let's take this call. Hello.
Good morning.
Good morning. Your name and where you calling from?
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Abdurrahman. He's contesting for the position of president of Nigeria Football Federation. Thank you so much for that. Okay. Okay. Thank you so much, right there. Oh, okay, thank you so much, right there. So, if you have any question, do you have any question for the FCTFA chairman? Okay, we lost that. Please do call back right there. You have the number on the screen to be part of the discussion. If you have any question or one thing you want to ask concerning football, it's right there with me in the studio, and he can really take your questions, and let's see what with him, because a whole lot of things to talk about when you are talking with him. We have another caller right there. Hello. Hello. Okay, let me see. We're still trying to get that. Hello. Are you with me? You need to speak up so I can hear you. Okay? Why we try to get more calls coming through right there? How are we talking about sources? And we look at the fact that in the last 8 years, our national team failed to qualify for the Nations Cup back-to-back, which is a major source of worry. And also, we talk about women football. There is not been a proper structure in place that can help us to continue to produce women football. We've dominated on the African stage, but when it comes to the world, we always falter. What do you think is the major? How do we address this issue?
It's simple, Tolu. I think it's a case of a lack of a blueprint, an action plan, and you follow through. So if every country has that, we don't need to create anything special. We copy as well and paste, in the sense that something that suits us. So take, for example, Spain. Spain won the World Cup, but they had to go and sit at the table and say, okay, we want to win the World Cup. We give ourselves 10 years. How do we do it? You need experts. You need top brains to do it. Yeah. So you have to think of facilities, which has to be across the country, spread out. You need to support the clubs to do academy systems. You need to have a good regulatory system that enforces the whole process. Then you need to have the resources. So government needs to support, together with companies. Maybe it's a tax break, incentive for companies if they invest more in sport. Why can't we have this sports tax fund, like we have the educational tax fund, or merge sports into the education tax fund, whereby you have an incentive that companies produce and support development of grassroots facilities across each and every local government in the country. Why don't you support the training of the coaches? You're training the trainer. Once our coaches have education, you begin to see results.
Okay, let's take this call. Hello. Good morning. Your name and where you calling from?
My name is Dr. I'm calling you from Anugu.
Okay. Let's hear you. What's your take? What do you have to say?
My take is the official in NFA to realize that sport is more of an employment. We are having a lot of issues in Africa because our sporting sector are not working. In sport, in European countries are the actual fact. A lot of employment. So most of the youth are being employed in the sporting sector, not the formal sector, but the sporting sector. And there are a lot of money in sport. Talk of maybe, talk of sport. The grassroots development of sport in Nigeria is there. Sport in Nigeria, there's no sporting centers in Abuja. There's no sporting centers. There's no grassroots development of football. I don't want to participate there, but a lot of things are not going on.
Okay. Thank you so much. I think your comments are noted right there. He talked about what you have been talking about, facilities, to really turn around it for you. You were saying something about facilities being really available to support with government and tax fund. That's rebate.
So, Tolu, actually, sports is even beyond a business. It's a strategic national issue. You see, every country, America, England, they are so keen to ensure that the sports system works properly. Why? Because when you have young people, they need to be occupied. They need to be busy. They have energies. So it's either you have a local community sports center that they go there to play basketball, football, and they take their time off. Then you see a correlation with decline in insecurity and youth being idle and sitting and doing other things, or going into even drugs. So there's a correlation, apart from it even being a national sport or a business. So we need to really understand that we need to take sports more seriously, and even from the local grassroots local government, state governments, we need to do more. We need to understand and plug sports as a key and important driver of GDP and employment for the whole country.
That's quite impressive. That takes me to a particular issue, talking about playing pattern. Some people have said Nigeria has not been able to sit down to come up with a style of play that this is what Nigeria is noted for. We say Brazil, they play samba. We see the Spanish people, they play tiki-taka. Then the Dutch, we know they play total football. Is it difficult for Nigeria to also have a playing style that every other national team is noted for?
So that's why I'm saying we need to create a master plan, a blueprint that talks about our identity, that really looks at what are our strengths. So we need to look at data, we need to go back, we need to analyze that data and look at our style of play. What do our players like to play? Is it a total football style, a 4-3-3? And then we decide, okay, this is our identity, this is our football culture, and then this is our style. And this is how we wish to present ourselves to the world. And then that needs to be plugged in at every stage, so that when the coaches are teaching the players from the grassroots, they understand the system we want to play. So that even if a coach comes, he understands that we already have a system. But as is, Tolu, the sad part about it, and the worst part about it, is we're not producing the main actors, the players. We're not producing homegrown players enough for it to ensure that our football is sustainable. And we have a big gap. Most of the players in the Super Eagles now are either from academy, ad hoc system that was not deliberate, or they are born outside the country. And how do we have 200 million people, and mostly the demographics are youth in our country, and we say that we're not producing? That is an alarming situation that we need to arrest and ensure that we're producing, we're picking, and we have deliberate programs and technical centers in every part of the country. We have ex-internationals too. If you have 3 training centers in the southeast, and you have all the ex-internationals there that are sitting idle, you plug them into the scouting, you do a database, and wherever they go to school sports and see a young player, they put him in the database, you lock him and you track him, and then you follow and support him, and you meet the parents.
Is it achievable?
It is achievable to do a database. It's not rocket science. It's not difficult to put them as scouts, not on a salary but on a retainer, or you're giving them allowances. It's their life, it's their passion, and they have something to do, and they feel recognized. So you can do a cheap model that is not too expensive, and that supports the whole ecosystem in that area. And then you have it in all the zones, all the regions, and you're going to have maybe thousands of players on that database. And then you track them, so that by the time you start under 13, under 15, you already have a database to pull from. They do a zonal thing, they come to Abuja, already you have different zones, they play against each other, you select the best, and then our technical committee needs to function properly. If you're selecting a player, you must do a report and back that report, that argument. Why are you calling this player? You just don't write a name and submit and they announce. No, why are you calling him? For what reason? What has he played in his club? What are his statistics? And who is he against? What are his competition? So it's a science. We have to do it like how everybody is doing it if we want to get it right. Look at the English female team that just won. Now female football is clean football. It's exciting. It's growing. And you know, you're seeing that we're left behind. And we need to really catch up.
Well, the question that I would definitely be asking before you go, because time not really our friend, how come we've not been able to implement this? Because we are the people who talk about so many things. We are playing scientific football, wanting to turn around Nigerian football. How come we've not been able to implement some of these things?
I don't have the answer to that, but because I don't want to cast any aspirations or say that the wrong people have found themselves in certain positions. But what I can tell you is that we do know how to get there. And the opportunity has come. So if we do want to get it right, then everybody needs to come on board. It's just not leaving it to chance. If we show a lack of interest, then of course we will continue to lament at the end of the day. But like I said, despite the challenges that you see every day, we have done it in the FCT. We've done it. And it's everybody can testify. I'm not just talking. I'm saying go and verify. There's a whole different feeling in the FCT as to how football has changed in the last 3 years. And I have not been the main boss going there in front. No, I've delegated, and everybody has been part of the system. And what I wanted really, Tolu, when I came on board is for the area councils to feel among, for them to participate, and even for us to take football to their grassroots, so that they don't always need to come to the center, to Area 3 to play every match. No, let them have their leagues also, so they develop better. And that's what we've done.
Thank you so much, Mouktar, for joining us this morning. Time not really our friend. I wish we can continue. Hopefully another time before the election, we get to have you again in the studio and talk and educate millions of Nigerians right there who are also passionate about the game and also want a Nigerian Football Federation that is productive, that is active, and that is really working. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much for having me.
And that's going to be the size of the package for today. It's been an interesting time for so many people who called. I couldn't pick their call. I know so many people do have a lot of things to say. Hopefully another time you have that opportunity. My name is Ogutime Tolulokpo Ogutime. Until I come your way, do have a lovely day.